So it seems that in Marvel Rivals we have a little bit of a tank problem, and I want to discuss that in this video. This is not going to be a doom and gloom video. It's not going to be a negative one, just addressing the problem and certain things they could do to fix it. Overall, the game's in a really good place, and I know people on the internet, no matter what game it is, will find everything and anything they can to be toxic about. This is not that. But let's discuss what the problem actually is. Let's address the obvious, most glaring problem first. The sheer difference in the amount of characters between DPS selections, vanguards, and strategists is too wide. Healers have the exact same problem, but unlike healers, you can actually win a game without a vanguard. It's winnable to win with just DPS and healers. It's also winnable to win with just healers and tanks, even all healers. It's extremely near impossible to win without a healer. Unless everyone on your team is on point, it is still even very unlikely, so even if you don't select a healer, everyone auto-locks DPS, maybe you have one tank but no healers, eventually if you want to win or stand a chance, even remotely have fun, and not just get completely steamrolled, you're gonna have to swap. But that really is the whole problem with tank. Even the tanks that are fun to play, you have to change your playstyle because more times than not, you're gonna be solo tanking even in competitive. And even the characters that have fun gameplay like Thor that can bash people around and be a fat DPS, or Cap that can harass the backlines, Penny that can pull her shenanigans. More often than not, you can't even play that character to the full effect. Because you're solo tanking, it forces you to be a neutral tank to help ground your team. You have to peel for your healers while simultaneously fighting two tanks all by yourself. So overall, this creates a problem where tank can be kind of boring, it can be kind of grueling, it feels like a chore at times, but if you don't do it, nobody will. And even the times that you do get tank players, no fault to them because at least they're trying, but it's mostly people filling that don't know the role very well, don't know how to take space properly and overextend. But at least these people are trying to make an effort to learn the role. The beauty of this game is it's based on Marvel characters, so most people already have an attachment to one of the heroes. And let's just be honest here, DPS has the most characters to select from, so it's going to have the most players. It also has a lot of fan favorite characters. And the DPS characters are going to be selected more times than not. The role of DPS also, on average, just subjectively, is more fun. It's not to say that healer and tank can't be a ton of fun either, especially if you're good and you carry. But DPS has so many characters that you can clip farm, go for sweet kills, highlights, high skill ceiling characters that can really carry, and you have multiple characters that can do the same thing. You want to be a sniper? You can be Black Widow, Hawkeye, you can be Phoenix, Hela, Punisher, even Psylocke kind of. You can be a flying character, but if you want to do what Penny can do, then you have to play Penny, and that's it, that's all. There's no other character that really does what Penny does. Sure, Thor and Cap can backline, but more times than not, you can't really even do that properly because you're the only tank, so you have to, well, be a meat shield. You can't have as much fun as everyone else, and you gotta change the way you play in order to give your team a chance to win. Soak in all that damage and try to just be the front line. What I'm saying is we need more options for tanks, and there's so many good Marvel characters they could pick, but not just the characters. Like, we don't just need new characters, we need new gimmicks. Somebody like Dr. Octopus, a Spider-Man villain, would be an excellent tank. He could be a strategist tank hybrid, something like that. Maybe we get another Mr. Fantastic hybrid. A Vanguard with lower HP but more kill power. Somebody like Sabretooth could have a team up with Wolverine and be like a fat Black Panther. War Machine could be one. Captain Marvel. Luke Cage. Colossus, the Juggernaut. You could even have a Doctor Strange villain like Mephisto that has a similar gimmick to Doctor Strange. Little bit of shenanigans while being a tank, make it more fun. The Red Skull could be another tank. Vision. There's a lot of options. This would greatly help the problem, and I know we're not going to get a ton of characters out of nowhere, but for at least a couple seasons, it would benefit the game if they just added tanks and healers for a while, but fun ones. Kind of like Ultron, somebody that can do more things than one. So the first major problem that they need to fix with tanks kind of falls with strategists too. They just need to add more with different varieties and cool gimmicks. Maybe add a tank that can buff their team like Storm can. Different interesting gameplay and gimmicks, and same for the healers too, the same thing. Not just all heal bots, but a bunch of different strategists that can do different things. It's only so fun for so long to pick between the same old tanks that you have access to, especially if you need to counter something, there's usually one option for each. It'd be nice to have more variety like there is with the DPS. There's multiple DPS that can do everything, and that's not the same for the tanks and the healers. This needs to be fixed. The second thing they could do to fix the tank problem, and people might not agree with me on this, but hear me out. Give every tank in the game a nice, modest buff. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Tanks will be super meta, and people will want to play them? Great. That's a great problem to have. I started playing Emma Frost in Season 2 because Groot was always banned. That was my main tank. Emma Frost on her release could easily get picks on squishies, she could fight other tanks, kick people off the map. Emma Frost was a unique tank for me because it felt like I could play a DPS and a tank all in one, do both roles. She needed to be dialed down a bit, but she had a lot of kill power. In 2.5 they nerfed her decently. She didn't have that raw kill power anymore, but she still could get picks, like don't get me wrong. Then they nerfed her again in 3.0. Personally, she's feeling more and more like a meat shield. Again, she can still get picks, like all tanks can, and they can be very insanely good. There's a lot of talented tank players, but even Eternity Magneto players will tell you the character gets boring after a while. Like, yeah, they can win games easily playing the way the character's meant to be played, but it gets boring. Emma Frost is still a very meta tank, but she's turning more into a meat shield. She's getting less fun to play. Yet Black Panthers are having the time of their lives in our backlines. Moon Knight's having the time of his life farming from a rooftop. Like, as a tank, you're basically just sitting there taking shit from everyone. And that's even if you're lucky enough to have a fellow tank partner in any given game. So yeah, people might not agree with me on this, but I think every tank getting a slight buff, and Thor maybe getting more than a slight buff, I think would help the game and make people want to pick tank more. Having a character like Sabretooth that plays a lot like Black Panther but a tank version, with half the kill power but like Venom can be a sponge for damage, you'd have less people auto-locking DPS and more people playing tank. Like, just speaking from my own experience in this game, I started off maining Strategist, that's mostly what I played. I learned the game that way and played Scarlet Witch. As I got better at the game and expanded on different characters, I started playing Magic, that's my now main. I play a lot of Psylocke, Namor, I play a lot of Squirrel Girl, but the characters that I play the most are tanks, mostly because I have no choice. I nearly have a Penny Lord, a character that I never really intended on playing or learning, but I found incredibly fun, but even then, it feels like I have to play her half the time just to fill the role. I nearly have a Lord Cap, Emma Frost I have a Lord, and Groot. I'll probably pick up Venom at some point because he looks fun, but I honestly can say and bet you that half the tank main community out there probably only started maining tanks so they could fill properly. And it honestly sucks. Tank is feeling less and less fun as the game goes on, in my opinion, just from somebody that plays it a lot and fills in that role a lot too. And I know both Strategist and Tank like to shit on DPS a lot, like the auto-lock DPS, everyone wants to play DPS, but it is meant to be a casual game to have fun, play the characters that you like. Honestly, as miserable as the role of tank can be most of the time, I can't really blame them. It's got most of the coolest characters and coolest gameplays, but another small thing they could actually do is increase the frequency of skins we get for tanks. I don't think the tanks are doing all that bad in the skin category, but I think out of the three roles, they're the most lacking. Thor's got some decent ones and Venom's pretty much a fan favorite, but other than that, Cap could use a couple more. Penny, man, oh my god, give her a couple skins. Groot too, give him a couple more. Even a Gooner character in the tank role like Emma should probably have a couple more by now, you would think. The Thing just got a cool team up with the Human Torch. This is a good step in the right direction. I was seeing a lot of Human Torch and Thing in quick play and it was good to see. It got annoying after a while, but that's exactly what's going to entice people to play tank. I also think it would help tank players and people to play tank if they increase the value on the stat of damage blocked, for both competitive and points and just in quick play, giving you a better chance at MVP if you tank. I feel it's an underrated stat line because you're just eating damage non-stop. You can't really move or your team's gonna get cooked and steamrolled, yet you don't really get acknowledged for that. If they increase the points that you got for the amount of damage that you actually block, it might entice more people to actually pick up the role. Anytime as a DPS or healer you find yourself having a real easy game more times than not, it's because you have a really good tank on your team holding it all together. I don't mean to take away from the tank mains and the tank players. What I'm trying to say though, and what I'm gathering from the community, the tank players, the tank mains, is that despite the fact that there are some good tanks, with each passing season it's becoming less and less fun to play and fill for that role. Even people that main those tank characters are getting burnt on it. It's the same old tanks, it's the same old thing. And even the people that love playing tanks and find them fun, half the time they can't play that character the way they want to. Because at least 70, probably 80% of the time, you're gonna be solo tanking. I played Emma Frost when she dropped and even in 2.5, almost exclusively in competitive. She was fun, I could get picks. She's becoming less and less fun to use. She's always going to be good, but that doesn't mean she's going to be fun. Thor can also be fun, but he is struggling. Magneto's a phenomenal tank as well, but he can be pretty boring after a while. Add more tanks, buff the tanks. I don't know exactly what the right solution is here, but they gotta do something. I don't think having people insta-locking more tanks frequently, whatever they could do to fix it, I think that would be a great problem to have. Can you actually imagine how cool that would be? 3 months from now, people are insta-locking a tank, like 3 or 4 of them, everyone's fighting over the tanks. I cannot even picture it, honestly. At the end of the day, again, the game's still in a very good place. It's still a fairly new game, so I have confidence they'll rectify this in some way or form. They're going to keep adding characters, so we're going to get more Vanguards. It's inevitable. I just hope they increase the frequency of the Vanguards and the Strategists before adding more DPS. I just feel like we need more variety, and we have a ton of characters to pick from. For those of you true tank mains out there holding it down still, we appreciate you. We appreciate your service. Keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.